Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. It is a gorgeous day here in southwestern PA. The sun is shining and it's almost 80 degrees, so we're really hoping that spring is finally here. I hope your day is going just as great as ours. My name is Lindsay Pekosh. I am the Associate Director of Graduate Admissions and Global Online at California University of Pennsylvania. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the third in our spring webinar series lineup. Today's webinar, The Transition of Athletic Training Education, will cover the transition within athletic training education, including the new accreditation standards, route to certification, and information about the new Master of Science in Athletic Training program at CalU. It is my honor to introduce to you a leader in the athletic training industry, Dr. CalU. Dr. CalU is the Athletic Training Program Director for the CAATE Accredited Athletic Training Program at California University of Pennsylvania. She received her PhD in Curriculum and Instruction, Cognate and Athletic Training from Ohio University, and MS in Health and Human Performance from Austin Peay State University. Dr. CalU currently teaches courses in orthopedic appliances, administration and athletic training, anatomy, pharmacology, and clinical education. Following Dr. CalU's presentation this afternoon, we'll have a brief time for some Q&A. So if throughout the presentation you think of a question you have for Dr. CalU, please send it through the chat function directly to me, as I'll be compiling the questions for the Q&A moderation. Now, without further ado, I'm happy to turn everything over to Dr. CalU for the webinar. Dr. CalU?
Thank you, Lindsay. Thanks so much, everyone, for taking time out of your busy schedules to participate in our webinar this afternoon. I'm really excited to get to share this information about the professional shift in athletic training education, and extra excited to share about our new Master of Science in Athletic Training program. So let's get started. To start, and I apologize if this is a little remedial for some of our audience, but we have such a large and diverse group. I just like to start with a good foundation of what athletic training is, so everyone is on the same page and has the same understanding. Athletic training is recognized by the American Medical Association as an allied healthcare profession, just like nurses and physicians and physical therapists. Under the direct supervision of a physician, athletic trainers deliver patient care to the physically active population in the domains of injury and illness prevention, examination and diagnosis, immediate emergency care, therapeutic interventions, which includes therapeutic modality application and therapeutic exercise, as well as healthcare administration. Athletic trainers work in a variety of settings. This is just a small list. Clinics, high schools, colleges, professional sports, hospitals, physicians' offices, the military, industrial corporations like NASA and Boeing, performing arts, companies like Cirque du Soleil, the Pittsburgh Ballet Company, and so many others. So with the 1 degree of athletic training, there are tons of different employment routes to pursue. How does a person become an athletic trainer? At colleges and universities, professional athletic training programs have to be accredited by the Commission. That's the Commission on Accreditation of Athletic Training Education. A candidate must matriculate through a professional accredited program. Upon completion of that degree, the candidate sits for a national benchmark certification exam called the Board of Certification Exam. This earns them the credential as a Certified Athletic Trainer, or ATC. Once they have this certification, then they're able to obtain a state credential. Typically, most states, it's a medical license, which allows them then to practice clinically and get a job. So now that we're all on the same page as far as the profession, let's talk about the transition. So remember how I said that students must enroll in a professional athletic training program? Well, currently, professional or entry-level athletic training education occurs at the bachelor's degree. However, by 2022, the profession will shift to require a master's degree. This transition takes the professional athletic training education from the bachelor's degree to what's known as an entry-level master's degree. So in other words, in order to become an athletic trainer, a student will need to matriculate through a professional master's degree program in order to be eligible to sit for the Board of Certification exam. This decision was announced back in May 2015. The new mandate was decided on by the Athletic Training Strategic Alliance, comprised of the National Athletic Trainers Association Board of Directors and the commissioners from the CAD. After 2.5 years of much investigation, analysis, research, and debate, there were numerous focus groups, open comment sessions, open discussion times at professional meetings, and the publication of the white paper entitled Professional Education in Athletic Training, which was written by a large panel of experts in the field. The decision was made to make this professional shift. To go along with this professional education shift, the CAD has also developed a new set of professional education standards and educational competencies. These came back out in March after much work. They were adopted this year in January and will need to be implemented by the programs by July 1st, 2020. So now you're probably asking yourself, why? Why change? Why the shift? Like I said previously, there was much debate. This was not a decision that was taken lightly or made on a whim. The major publication that helped to justify the change was this Professional Education and Athletic Training, or the white paper, which was an examination of the professional degree level. The document presented 12 key findings, and I'm going to highlight some of them here. The first being that the professional education change will better align athletic trainers with other healthcare providers that deliver patient care at a similar level and have a similar skill set. This will hopefully then enhance our status within the healthcare system. This new, more advanced degree will give athletic trainers additional knowledge. The competencies have evolved, which are our knowledge and skills, and this will also be helpful to enhance athletic trainers' clinical practice. The bottom group of findings relate a little bit more to the educational system and the pedagogy of the educational philosophy, but just to share, better retention and prepared students. Currently, 25% of bachelor in athletic training graduates do not end up practicing athletic training, as compared to 98% of graduates from current entry-level master's degree programs remain in the profession and practice athletic training, meaning that graduates are using the bachelor's in athletic training program as a stepping stone to pursue a different post-professional degree instead of wanting and intending to join the profession. This transition should also help athletic training to facilitate interprofessional education. Students come into the master's program with a strong foundation of basic sciences, which includes they don't have the distraction of all the other general education requirements needed for a bachelor's degree. And lastly, professional education at the graduate level will be more efficient, meaning that some programs will self-eliminate if their institution does not offer graduate degrees or they elect to not make the transition. This consolidation will eventually increase enrollments of the remaining programs, which larger enrollment in athletic training programs shows to have a positive correlation to the BOC pass rate. So in summary, These findings presented positively support the decision to require professional athletic training to occur at the master's level. If athletic training programs want to maintain their accreditation, they must go through a substantive change process through the CADI to make the transition to the entry-level master's degree by 2022. How does this process happen? Again, for some of you, this is just more of an FYI of what the process looks like for the program. First, depending on the state and the university, whatever approval would need to be granted. If it's a new degree or a change of an existing degree, that approval would need to be granted by the university and/or state. The program would then proceed to complete what's called a substantive change, which is done through our accrediting agency. They submit a notification of intent, pay the accreditation fee, and then complete an abbreviated self-study, which is 24 of the 109 current standards. All of this information can be found on the link below. And then I also included the CADI's email address and website. If you have any questions regarding specifics on the substantive change process, I point you in that direction for clarity and questions. Now the part that I'm really excited to share with you all about is our transition here at CalU. Through the extra efforts of the athletic training faculty here, the new Master of Science in Athletic Training program courses and curriculum have been approved at the university level. The program aims to start its first cohort of students next summer, 2019. We are in our final steps of the substantive change process. We actually have a conference call with our site visitors tomorrow morning, and then that will be submitted for final review by the commission with a decision to be issued probably around this summer. So our admissions requirements. That first group of boxes there are our prerequisite coursework. And please note the key here is that the students must earn a C+ or better in each course. And then combined, those courses need to add up to a GPA of a 3.0 or better. We left some of the details and specifics very open on these courses as far as labs or credit hours. We just wanted the foundational knowledge. So the courses include biology, exercise physiology, health, human anatomy, human biology, a kinesiology or biomechanics class, chemistry, nutrition, psychology, statistics, and physics. The students must also earn a minimum of 60 undergraduate credits, and that's a requirement of the Pennsylvania State System of Higher Education. However, they do not have to earn a bachelor's degree in order to be able to be eligible to apply. So note that star there on that one. They do not have to have a bachelor's degree. Cumulatively, with all of their coursework, they need to have a minimum GPA of 2.75. Some other more program-specific requirements are items like proof of immunizations. We ask that they complete a minimum of 30 clinical observation hours, 2 letters of recommendation, hold their CPR AED certification, meet the program's technical standards, and then here in Pennsylvania, we have certain clearances that they're required to obtain: background check, criminal history, etc. Okay, so those are our admissions requirements. How do you get into that program is our next question, right? So there are multiple points of entry. I'm going to try to talk about each one of them. If a student is a traditional freshman coming straight out of high school, they can do what you're seeing here on the screen, which is our Bachelor of Health Science pre-athletic training track. So we took our new health science degree and made sure to plug in all of the MSAT program's prerequisites so that the student could earn those prerequisites in 3 years, and then in the spring semester of that third year, be able to apply to the master's program. And you can see the little red check marks indicate all of the prerequisite courses. External applicants are also welcome to apply if they have already earned a bachelor's degree and have all required prerequisite courses. They can apply. If they've earned some courses at a different institution and want to transfer those in and complete the remaining prerequisites here and then apply, all options are viable. Just treat the prerequisite courses kind of like a checklist, and as you get them done, then when you're enrolled in the last group of them, you're eligible to apply to the program. This is our application process. Students apply using this centralized application system known as ATCAS. There's the link to it right there. They just need to create a username and login, and then they just search for our program. And then all application materials are directly uploaded into that centralized system. You do not need to apply directly to CalU or to CalU the graduate school here at CalU. It's all streamlined through the ATCAS system. So this is actually the most exciting piece, I think, is our curriculum for our master's program. I'm going to go through and talk about some of the courses and some of the highlights for the 2-year curriculum. It starts in the summer. The students are enrolled in a cadaver anatomy dissection course, focusing mostly on the extremities, joints, muscles, nerves, tendons, and ligaments. They also take a 5-week foundation course, and then the clinical skills class gets them started in learning how to take a history, measure joint range of motion, and different clinical skills like that. Fall semester, then their first full semester, they have an emergency care class, examination of the lower extremity, ankle, knees, hip, foot, toes, any pathology related to those. Therapeutic interventions is focused mostly on therapeutic modality application. They get started in learning and understanding the research process. And then the last class there, Practicum 1, is the credit the students earn for their clinical education rotations. So there's hands-on learning going on throughout the curriculum. Students are placed under the supervision of a preceptor who's an athletic trainer, and they complete rotations here on campus through our intercollegiate athletics, football, softball, volleyball, soccer, basketball, all of the above. We also use Washington and Jefferson College and some of our area high schools, as well as area clinics. So that finishes up fall semester. In the winter, we decided to make an elective practicum. If the students want to get additional hands-on clinical experience, we can set up with a site that they're interested in working and gaining experience, and they can enroll in additional clinical education experience through that winter break. So if they have maybe a site at home, a clinic that would supervise them and allow them to provide patient care under the supervision of an athletic trainer, we could set that agreement up with that facility, and then they could gain additional clinical experience. Spring semester, the students head back into the cadaver anatomy lab to focus on dissecting the head and spine. And then that course runs in conjunction with an examination course looking at examining and diagnosing pathologies related to the head and spine. They're also enrolled in examination of the upper extremity, continuing to develop their research project. Therapeutic Interventions 2 focuses on therapeutic exercise techniques and strategies. And then again, they continue with their clinical education rotation through Practicum 2. So year 2 in the summer, we have designed a clinical immersion experience. this is a term that our accreditors use, but you can kind of think of this as an internship experience. They are enrolled in no other classes during this period, and they are fully immersed in a clinical setting of their choice. We will help to facilitate and coordinate opportunities for the students, but we want them to find a site that they're interested in pursuing employment in the future so that they get full immersion experience in something that interests them. Again, the requirements would just be that they are supervised by an athletic trainer, that we have an affiliation agreement, and that they are getting a hands-on experience. So that'll last for a minimum of 10 weeks across the summer. The second year fall semester, then, all of those courses are actually done online. And we designed it that way in case the clinical immersion experience may extend a little bit past the start of fall semester. So if they don't make it back until September 15th, no problem. They're still able to complete all those courses online and not fall behind in any coursework. When they do get back to campus, we get them engaged in another clinical rotation. They take an advanced nutrition course. Administration is taught online, as well as pharmacology. And then they continue their research project in developing methodology and data collection. The winter break of that second year, the students are eligible to repeat that elective practicum if they want to, again, to gain additional clinical experience. They come back in the spring then to finish up. We have a complementary therapies course. Some of the things that we're seeing, like cupping, dry needling, essential oils, some of those things that are out there that may or may not be beneficial but are unique to learn about and have as a skill, will be in that course. Clinical pathologies is our general medical type of conditions, sinusitis, asthma, things like that. 750 is a really exciting course, not just because I'm teaching it, but it's our casting course. And since I'm a certified caster, I'll follow the curriculum of the American Society of Orthopedic Professionals. And so by completing the course under those conditions, the student then will be eligible to also take a casting certification upon completion of the course, which will give them an additional credential. They finish up with another clinical rotation, and then lastly, whatever their research project is, we've left it open to, again, just be more of a kind of project or meta-analysis to something if somebody wants to do a full-on research thesis. Somewhere between those two is what we're looking for. So that is the curriculum. We definitely have some unique things, I think, with the cadaver anatomy course. The casting certification is a really great skill set and will make the students more marketable, as well as the complementary therapies as well. So that's what's going on with our program here at CalU. I really thank you all for your time today, for joining us, and I will send it over to Lindsay and open for any comments or questions.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Chanu. That was a great presentation, and definitely learned a lot about the changes coming for athletic training education, as I'm sure everyone else did. We have a little bit of time left this afternoon for Q&A, and we've received a few questions. So if you're ready, Dr. Chanu, we'll get right into it.
Sure.
First question details, what if a student comes in with transfer credits?
The student, whatever, if the transfer credits are related to the prerequisite courses, then those would count. And then they would just kind of maybe knock off a year, if not more, of that 3-year kind of pre-athletic training track. Any transfer credits are welcome, though, and it does kind of decrease the amount of time it takes till they're eligible to apply to the master's program.
Okay, great. Next question. What are the admission requirements for the program?
The admissions requirements, if we can go back to that slide for a visual. One more. Are here in that first row of boxes. Those courses with a C+ or better, and then combined, those prerequisite courses need to have a 3.0 GPA or better. The other specifics are the 60 undergraduate credits and the cumulative grade point average of a 2.75. And then again, that reminder that you do not have to have earned a bachelor's degree in order to apply. The program also looks at their immunizations. We have them do some clinical observation hours, 2 letters of recommendation, CPR AED certification, that they meet our program's technical standards, and that they have their Pennsylvania clearances.
Okay, thank you. Is there a specific type of internship or experience that you would like to see your students complete for this program?
I think the opportunities are kind of endless, and I would just want them to complete an experience that they would get the most out of. If a student is interested in, I don't know, more of the performing arts, maybe they do an experience or an immersion with the University Cheer Association. Or maybe we reach out to some of our contacts and see if they can do a rotation with the Pittsburgh Ballet Company. I just want them to get the most out of it. From my experience, I've seen such value in that type of immersion experience that I don't necessarily know that I have any specifics. I want it to be something that they really are engaged and excited about doing.
Thank you. Where are some of the locations that graduates from California University of Pennsylvania have gone on to secure employment?
We have students all over, really, through different clinics, UPMC, PTI, NovaCare. This is only my second year here, so I don't know all of our graduates that well. Some of our undergraduate students go on to pursue a master's degree, but really we kind of span the gamut of high schools, NFL, performing arts, all of the above.
Great. Am I able to acquire my bachelor degree online?
The bachelor's in health science, there are no courses that are online for that, no. I'm not sure if the university offers other undergraduate bachelor's majors online.
And let me jump in to help answer that question as well, Dr. Chanu. We do offer a number of bachelor degrees online in a related field, but not in specifically the health science. The closest we would offer in a bachelor degree program would be a Bachelor of Science in Sport Management program, a wellness and fitness concentration. But the program that Dr. Chanu was talking about in regard to the master's degree, did you want to speak to answer that side of the question, Dr. Chanu, about
The,
that?
the master's of science and athletic training degree, those courses are not online. Just that one semester is online, but the students need to be here on campus because they're engaged in lab activity and clinical rotation. So it would almost be impossible to get an entry-level master's degree in athletic training.
Exactly.
Totally.
Yeah. Next question. What happens if you complete the 3 years and then don't want to pursue athletic training?
You can continue with the health science, bachelor in health science major, and complete the remaining health science requirements to earn your bachelor's degree in health science.
Okay. Next question. If the student is out of state In order to fulfill the requirements, should they plan on living close to college, or can there be a clinical where the student currently lives? That kind of ties into what we just discussed a couple minutes ago, that most of the courses in this curriculum are on campus, so it would be necessary for students to be close to campus in order to take the on-campus courses. But how about the second part of that question, Dr. Chanu? If there would be a clinical close to where the student currently lives?
That might be a good option for their clinical immersion, but for the practicum rotations, they would be all of our already affiliated sites.
Okay, great. And that was actually the last of our questions for the Q&A segment. I wanted to thank again, Dr. Chanu, did you have anything else you wanted to add before we close out?
No, wanted to make sure that everybody had my contact information. Again, if there's any questions or anything that I can help you all out with, there's my email address, and then that's my direct line.
Great. Well, again, thank you, Dr. Chanu, for a wonderful webinar this afternoon. The recording of the webinar is going to be emailed to each of you, and I would encourage you to share it with anyone that you think may have an interest. And we'll also be sending you additional information on further upcoming webinars throughout the summer and fall semesters as we develop those as well. And thank you to all who joined us this afternoon. I hope you have a wonderful day.